This is your City Council Roundup, a recap of what's happening at City Hall with John Ongaro. The views expressed in this program are solely of those of the host and not necessarily those of the radio station or its partners.
All right, and away we go. Last night's meeting started right on time. All councillors were present, some of them online, but some big topics on the agenda last night, so let's get right to it, shall we? The Thunder Bay City officials are moving forward with plans to establish a red light camera program to enhance road safety, aiming to join the provincial initiative potentially by the summer of 2027. The program recommended studies other municipalities and their red light cameras and whether or not they're effective at reducing severe angle collisions. They are by about 25%. Though they may initially lead to an increase in less severe rear-end collisions because people are stopping at red lights. However, the anticipated significant volume of tickets generated by automated enforcement, including red light cameras and automated speed enforcement, yes, that's coming too, is projected to overwhelm the current Provincial Offences Act court system. To address this, administration is recommending the creation of an administrative penalty system known as an APS, a streamlined process designed to handle these penalties outside of provincial courts. APS is expected to offer operational advantages like faster case resolution, greater local control, and potentially improved fine collection rates, and lower operating costs compared to the court system. While not intended as a revenue-generating tool, the programs are projected to generate enough revenue to offset the operational costs. Particularly when using the APS system, the next steps involve developing detailed business cases for both APS and the enforcement programs being submitted with a letter of intent to the province. Next. That's a big one.
That was. Take that all in.
Next, okay. If you think that fake chunk of grass with the roof over it was a gift that kept on giving to City Council, well, we can top that this morning. The designated truck route was back last night. Turned down by council multiple times in the past 2 decades. Here it comes again. But it must be different than last time, right? Last time the vote lost 7-6. But it's not really different at all. The only difference is that trucks delivering in town and on the route will have access to what they need to. Unlike the last iteration of this, the fact remains the same. And the facts are this. 1,300 trucks daily go down Dawson Road, 300 daily down Arthur Street. Both areas have their share of complaints. In turn, moving trucks off of those routes will put 1,600 more trucks per day on the Thunder Bay Expressway, which is already busy and already has its share of tragedies. But let's not forget the ones that are really affected by this change. Kakabeka and Conwy Township, along with Oliver Papoons, that will see 1,600 more trucks a day moving through their communities. But that part is lost on half of our council. You see, they forget that these outlying communities are really our version of the suburbs. They're people in those communities that work and play and dine and shop in Thunder Bay. They use our highways too. But each time our community partners were brought up last night, it was quickly shot down because this is a Thunder Bay issue, ignoring the rest on the outskirts. The city did a presentation trying to justify the DTR again last night, but it really is the same story that has been turned down over and over again. In one chart last night, the city showed the predicted reduction of accidents on Highway 102, but didn't point out that on the same chart, the predicted increases of accidents on the Thunder Bay Expressway were the same. Councillor Atrini pushed on that fact, to which the city responded that the change in route shuffles the truck traffic to a more suitable highway, and that highway can handle the volume. But here's the thing. Did anyone want to ask about the nuclear waste that's now going to make its way through our community past a few thousand homes, directly in the backyard of people from Red River Road to the Harbour Expressway? No, they didn't. Did anybody mention the fact that Highway 102 is not ours? That somewhere up Dawson Road, it's no longer a city issue, but we're affecting the city for it? Currently, trucks that take Dawson Road and Highway 102 take 25 to 30 minutes to get to the Trans-Canada Highway. With the DTR, they would now need 30 to 45 minutes and an extra 16 kilometers. For Arthur Street traffic, the current time from Highway 130 to the Trans-Canada is 30 to 35 minutes, but there wouldn't be any change in time with the DTR. It only adds about 5 kilometers. So although both routes would be affected, the Dawson Road route has the biggest impact. So those facts, of course, set up the discussion that lasted over 2 hours last night. That included written and personal deputations. But to summarize one of them, Mayor Jim Vesna and his council from the Township of O'Connor, their letter strongly opposed the bylaw or action that would prohibit trucks from accessing Highway 102 instead of diverting them onto Highway 1117. The township argues that the diversion poses several safety risks to the communities along the route, including the Township of Conmee, the municipality of Oliver Papoonge, the Township of O'Connor, highlighting particular concern for elementary school students and seniors in Quebec Falls. Citing traffic data, the letter states that the diversion would double the number of trucks traveling on 1117 through Quebec. It also notes that residents are already experiencing difficulties with heavy truck traffic on 1117, including challenges accessing side roads, poor sight lines affecting pedestrians, school buses, recreational vehicles, and argues that doubling the traffic would undoubtedly make these bigger issues. Further, the letter warns that increasing heavy truck numbers will worsen safety risks at intersections along Highway 1117 in Oliver Papoonge and on Highway 590, where already poor sight lines and the lack of merge or turning lanes exist. So the township is begging council to not take this, including that of the Lakehead Municipal Coalition, the Thunder Bay District Municipal Lead, and various other provincial ministries, including the Premier and the Ministry of Transportation. They've all been made aware of these plans and how these communities are asking to say no. That led to questions of administration, and of course, there were a lot of them. The back and forth began, questioning the reports, challenging the numbers, pointing out that the accident data on Highway 102 showed that a large majority of the accidents on 102 are not on Dawson Road. Now, there are a few, but that's not a bulk of it. The city doesn't control anything after Dawson Road. One by one, councillors showed their hand on the file and where they fall in the votes. But the issue is that this council, once again, are strongly divided, as previous councillors were on the file. There is no win here. You're saving traffic on Dawson Road and forcing 1,600 trucks a day to an already busy, undivided Thunder Bay Expressway. No one wins. It's the fate of our city because of where we live. We literally control east and west traffic on the Trans-Canada Highway. But when questions came up, so came the aggressive challenges. This is Councillor Gertuga's biggest fight. It always has been. Every time the DTR comes up, he's the leading force and at times aggressively with his colleagues. That didn't stop last night, and I get it. It is his number one issue. It's what he's fought for his entire time in the room, over 20 years. But just because councillors ask questions you don't like, there's no need for you to get fired up. It's a discussion, not a debate. The debate is in 2 weeks, but here we were again last night. It's interesting to me that how one member of council loves to remind councillors that they're not engineers or traffic specialists and that they should act on the DTR because it's the recommendation of administration. Yet the same councillor completely disregarded the recommendations from administration in supporting the temporary village. Not only that, but he questioned the professional advice given by subject matter experts that time. So how does that work? Administration is really only smart when you agree with them? He showed his hand again last night, this time on his favorite subject, but that was it. Just discussion. The file comes back June 23rd for discussion and then ratification. Right now, my guess is that it's going to be a split vote again, and this will fall in the hands of one councillor who needs to make up their mind. Whether or not this file gets approved, we've seen this before. The drama on the 23rd will be high. Set your PVR. I will say this on the topic, and I've said it before. The issue of the DTR is not the road. It's not the road, period.
Yeah, this DTR, when you say ratification in 2 weeks, do you mean something is going to be decided upon?
And it will start this fall if it's approved, yes.
Wow, this thing is like 20 plus years old.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Well,
Also last night, Thunder Bay City Council is set to approve Phase 3 of its asset management plan, a crucial document aimed at addressing the city's growing infrastructure deficit. You've heard about this before. The plan provides a comprehensive overview of the Thunder Bay's $4.9 billion asset portfolio, detailing current conditions, financial pressures, and sustainability challenges facing municipalities' infrastructure. The city faces a significant annual shortfall of $30.6 million every year simply to maintain current service levels, a figure that is projected to reach $307 million over the next decade. The deficit could climb to $373 million over the same period if the city pursues proposed enhancement changes like improved accessibility and climate resilience. The plan's objective is to provide sustainable services and build resilient communities through sound asset management practices. But to tackle all of this, how does it happen? Well, the strategy includes a phased enhancement to the municipal tax levy. That's right, your money dedicated to capital out of the revenue for infrastructure renewal, targeting an increase of 4% annually for this from 2030 on. This would eliminate the infrastructure deficit by 2064. That's a big deficit. So we'll see what happens next, acknowledging that the current funding only meets 71% of what we need. Something has to give. That was the first report.
So to confirm, it'll eliminate this deficit in 39 years.
Yeah.
39 years.
I hope I'm still doing a roundup to talk about it. Finally, this is a big deal. And it is probably the first you're going to hear about it, and it's probably going to be a surprise. After a year of debate, parking was back in front of council last night, this time as a notice of motion, which essentially is a way to change or scrap a bylaw on the newly implemented parking fees and restrictions, which, ironically, are about exactly a year old. But here it is again. I've said it once, I've said it 100 times, but thankfully, Councillor Aiello said it out loud last night, and Councillor Chung followed it up, being the voice of reason. Yeah, I said that. She was bang on last night. There is no free parking anywhere. And she doesn't agree with the notice of motion that's in front of them, and that we shouldn't be looking at the loss of revenue, and she's absolutely right. All of this should have been thought through last year. I hate to say this to you, but we're completely spoiled. We always have been. There is no such thing as free parking anywhere else these days. And Thunder Bay has always had an issue with it because it's all we know. So when the change happened last year, of course, everybody lost their mind over it. Business owners, community members, and more. And here we are a year later, changing our mind again. Breaking news. Starting in 38 minutes, parking is now free. Sort of.
There's always, yes.
So here's what's about to happen right now. Starting today, 2 hours meter parking, Marina Park parking for 4 hours are free. After that time, you need to pay. The fees are in place Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. But in order to access your free parking, you still need to use the app. Your vehicle still needs to be tracked by pay stations. Don't use the app. Just park there and think you're going to get there for 2 hours. You're going to get a ticket. After 2 hours, the ticket's yours. This is the exact definition of mud on our face. A year after debate, a year of complaining, putting people in a tailspin because they have to pay for parking, and a year later, we'll change our mind. Mark Bentz said it best last night. We didn't get the best recommendation for the best idea at the beginning. It didn't work, and now we're confusing the public because it starts today. Surprise! The mud on the face of council is now in your favor, with some conditions. The app, the maximum amount of times, etc. And then there's the part about the lost income we're now about to face. How much are we losing? Well, the net loss in revenue in 2026 will cost us $944,000. That's in order for you to park at the marina for 4 hours for free. If you'd like to stay for 8, just pay for 4 hours more. To park downtown for dinner for 2 hours, use your app. If you're staying for 3, buy an extra hour. It all changes now, as of today. That's how notice of motions happened. The vote last night had 9 in favor and only 2 opposed. Free parking is in play today. The meeting was over at 10:50. There is no meeting next week. The next meeting is June 16th. And set your PVRs for June 23rd.
Wow. That is a lot to uncover last night. Lots. Thanks, John. So that's the big announcement. There you go.
It starts to. I actually sent messages to counselors last night.
Yeah.
Going, wait a second. What? Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Starting today, the app flips over. Now, when you go to use it, it's going to tell you got 2 hours free. And if you're going to stay longer than that. Now, this is exactly what businesses and people were saying last year. And we did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And a year later, we've changed our mind. Don't forget that last year, the parking was 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Then that changed.
2 weeks later, they changed it. Here we are a year later, scrapping all of that. Let's just make it free for a couple of hours.
Now, you did bring up a great example. You know, downtown, you're going for dinner. Usually dinner might last you a couple hours.
Sure.
You're good to go there. It's free.
Yep.
The story that often comes up when it comes to parking is if you know you're going to go and blow $100 on dinner, what's an extra couple dollars?
$2, right.
Right? I get it. I understand it. This is huge news for a lot of people.
It's a big deal, too, because the thing that makes me the most fired up is about the marina.
Yeah.
I am so tired of hearing counselors who, by the way, I've never seen down there, and I am there a lot. They're all talking about how the marina is empty now. You were there Sunday morning. It was not empty.
Nope.
There are a lot of people still using the marina. It's not about the parking. The reason it looks empty is because all of the people that parked at the marina for free and work downtown are not parked there anymore.
Yeah.
That's the difference. But the usability of the marina and the amount of people in the marina has not changed. I am telling you from firsthand living down here, that is not the case. However, if you want to go to the marina now for 8 hours, if you're going fishing and you're going fishing for 8 hours, your first 4 hours are free. You go back on the app, you pay for the next 4.
Yeah.
I think it's more than fair. But why wasn't this presented last year?
I will also remind you, if you don't have that app, you really need it. It is so convenient and it is so quick and it's there and it's accessible to you.
However, as brought up again last night,
not everyone has it.
What about the seniors?
Yep, that's fair.
What about seniors that don't have data on their phones?
Yep.
That was brought up a few times last night. There's really not an answer to it. It's the way of the world. That part is unfortunate. Yeah, the meters will still take your quarters or your card or whatever, but you still have to use the pay stations at least in all of these locations.
Yeah, because how do you police that, right? 2 hours. Yeah, this app is the easiest way, but I absolutely understand that not everyone's going to have access to
Did I mention that this all starts today?
it. Starts today.
This is the most shocking part, Danny, is that it happened literally last night. The changes are today. And it's just shocking to me how quickly we've flip-flopped on this. But there's a lot of very important votes. I'll say it one more time. This council is very divided on a lot of things, and there's a lot of important things in front of us.
All right. Thanks, John. That's your City Council Roundup. A recap you can find on our website, 999thebay.ca, or remember, you can text the word council to our T-Bay Tel Talk and text line 807-344-8229. Text the word council. You'll get the link to today's Roundup. Thank you.
No meeting next week. We got the Monday night off.